Imagine this as a kid. This is a... let's go to Tommy Chong. Hey, Tommy, you went public for 9/11 Truth a few months ago. I guess 6-8 months ago now on this show. It's really great to see the fact that this movement of not trusting what Big Brother tells us is going mainstream. Tommy Chong.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah. All that sure is, man. I watched the 9/11 was an inside job. The video you did, and I was mesmerized for the hour and a half or whatever it was that it took, because it opened my eyes. I had those feelings, but I never really, and now just everything makes sense, because it never really gelled until I saw the proof.
Is frankly a demand for full spectrum dominance. Again,
and look what they're doing today, attacking Wall Street. They're using Wall Street as the 9/11 to get more money.
Oh, you're absolutely on target there. There's no doubt that they are orchestrating this. I mean, this is financial terrorism to say, give us complete immunity for all the Wall Street crimes, give us trillions, or we'll have a depression, and then the biggest plunge in the market ever when Congress says no and they blame it on Congress. That is amazing, Tommy.
Well, it's like that do or die thing. It's like a suicide note. Either give me the money or I'm going to kill myself. And then he never killed himself.
Yeah, the market went back up today.
Yeah, and the market's doing pretty good. And then it was like, so the question is, who are we bailing out? Why?
God, they act like total criminals. I mean, this is classic.
Yeah, why do we need to bail them out? And where's the money going to go? Where's it coming from? And what are we going to get in return? And what's the collateral? Yeah. And the thing is, but it's like gambling. What they're doing, and thank God the people aren't going for it, is that these guys have got a gambling Jones and they keep losing, and they want more money. They're like a junkie that needs more heroin. And they'll never get enough. And they're trying to use that. I mean, you've seen how McCain tried to be the knight, in shining armor, rescuing everything. And stuck his foot right in when it fell on its face.
This is like a heroin head robbing your house, your stereo, and your jewelry. Except it's Ben Bernanke and Mr. Treasury Secretary Paulson and Bush that are doing it.
Yeah, well, it's Bush. It's Bush and his crew. It's the final insult, It's goodbye. We don't care about you. I think it was Michael Moore pointed out the fact that Bush is totally owned by the Saudis.
By the way, Michael Moore now is in our new film, Truth Rising, saying that he's looking at 9/11 being an inside job in police and fire. I told him there were bombs in the building. I mean, they're going to have a big problem when Michael Moore and all these other people are starting to go public, Tommy. They're in deep trouble.
Well, I know. And the funny thing is, I mentioned this to Cheech, and Cheech his dad was a cop, and Cheech is straight as can be, on certain things. And Cheech was very, very defensive for these guys. They said, no. He just laughed it off. Oh no, that would never happen. And he said, and my son too, Paris. He said, oh no, you can make any film, say anything you want, with the editing and that. And so I never said anything. I said, you guys just got to watch this film. Just watch it yourself. Make up your own mind. I'm not going to be trying to sell anybody anything.
What film was that you showed him?
Yours.
Oh, really? A Terror Storm? What effect did that have on him?
Well, he hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, good.
So that's what I'm going to make sure Cheech sees it before he comes on the show.
Well, I know that Terror Storm, that's what I first gave Ventura 2 years ago in person in San Antonio, then led him to investigate. Then his son gave him loose change, and Ventura woke up. And that's how this is working.
I'm going to go on to another subject that a lot of people don't want to discuss today, something
person by person, waking others up, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, it is, and it makes so much sense, because you can see act of terrorism, like their countries, but why would they pick those particular
When you look at
targets?
the details of 9/11, Flight 93, for example, was supposed to be aimed at either Capitol Hill or the White House. You're in fact looking at a coup d'etat that they wanted to destroy the infrastructure of the American government.
And the funny thing is, Alex, is that these guys, they're so short-sighted. It just boggles the mind how shallow you have to be to go to that length. For what purpose? There's some sort of insanity that it's really hard to comprehend.
You mean we're smoking dog shit?
Well, that's what a lot of our guests have been saying, is that they, and I've interviewed a lot of people who are in the government or been in the government, and they say that that's what this current crew was known as when they were junior 20 years ago, was as the Crazies.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and they have nicknames like the Prince of Darkness, Richard Pearl, and that they're risk takers, like psychopathic gamblers. They want to get caught. They want to go too far.
So you come in on Monday morning and somebody would say, guess what the Crazies did late Friday night? And you don't know exactly.
Those, like the Unabombers and those guys, where they can't stand not being. They want the publicity. They want the like serial killers. They want the notoriety. They want to show people how clever they are. And if they're so clever they can't get caught, that defeats their purpose. And so they leave these signs around so that you will find out who were the nuts that perpetrated all this disaster and stuff on.
Exactly. Well, after World War II, we were a very trusting country. We began trusting our government too much. We'd just beaten the evil Nazis. And then the people became very gullible. But now the process of waking up to both parties and the whole system is pretty much complete. 9% approval rating for Congress.
Governor, what do you think of the two-party system? I said, I think it's phenomenal. We get one more choice than communist Russia.
Bush has the lowest approval rating of any president ever, and 90+% against the bailout, no matter all the fear-mongering that the bankers engage in. It looks to me like it's like somebody, a cousin or something that cheats you one too many times, and you just say, I'm done with you.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was in prison, the first thing, I eventually learned, that everybody has an angle, and these so-called friends would come up and be, give me things and, talk nice to me and know all about my family and that, and they're all con artists. And they're all slick, because everybody's got an angle, and that's what you find out, especially in the political world. That they make it look like one thing, and then they turn around. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I learned in jail. I mean, you find out that the people love the game. They love the game. They love this. Like I was in there with a security thief. And he made millions and millions of dollars stealing, manipulating the stock market. And while he was in there, he had another company that was, guess what, running mortgages.
So while he was in prison, he was running.
He was into mortgages. That's what he was doing while he was doing time. And of course, when the mortgage thing collapsed, of course it collapsed, because that's what these guys are in for. But his thrill wasn't making the millions and millions of dollars, because he was so stoned all the time that he never enjoyed his money, ever. It was the fact that he could do it.
Well, that's what my dad years ago told grandfather, too. He'd say, son, there's people that would rather steal a quarter from you than make $100 with you honestly. They get a thrill out of screwing people and lying to people.
And that's exactly what we have in power right today. Well, yeah, all that hanky-panky stuff.
Attention all units. All the ones that were involved in the police cadet scandal, we know who you are, man.
When the government lies to us, we go to war. When we lie to the government, we go to prison. Somehow we're getting the raw end of the stick here.